Bienvenue sur Mordu, le podcast des passionnés de glisse et d'outdoor. Mordu, mais aïe!
Hey everyone, it's Mathieu. Super happy to be back with a brand new episode of Mordu. And today we are making history for the first time ever. The entire episode is in English. Don't worry, I kept my French accent. But honestly, when you get a legend like Björn Dunkerbeck, you adapt 42 world titles, world speed records, a lifetime chasing wind and adrenaline. Björn is one of the greatest riders of all time across any sport. We talk speed, family, the future of windsurfing and water sports, and what keeps him hungry after 4 decades at the top. All right, enough talking. Let's dive in with Björn Dunkerbeck. Hi Björn, welcome to Mordu. I'm super happy to have you with us today. You're one of the greatest legends of windsurfing with 40 or more world titles. You'll tell us about it, speed records, and still I think this incredible passion for riding. Today we're going to talk about your story, your obsession with speed, and what keeps driving you. We recorded 100 or so episodes of Mordu. It's going to be the first episode ever in English. Might be the last.
Or maybe you go across the borders.
Yeah, I might. But I'm super stoked to do this with you, and thank you for taking the time. Let's start. So when you introduce yourself today, what do you say first? First, athlete, entrepreneur, speed addict, legend, or simply passionate rider?
Well, I would say I'm a bit of everything, depending on what the situation is offering. Yeah. So after all this year, I could probably use all of these sayings.
Maybe for entrepreneur people, I think like everybody knows you for the windsurfing, the speed records, but you're also an entrepreneur. Can you describe what you do as for a business today?
Well, it's not for today. I mean, I'm first of all still competing in the speed sailing circuit. I'm competing also in the Lyric Speed Challenge every year to beat the 100 kilometers an hour, which my main goal was to make the 100 kilometers. And I made that a few years ago with 103.68 top speed, which was a go-go. And everybody says it's impossible to do it. But in the end, we managed to do it, a few of us. Other than that, I do have my windsurf center that my parents started 45 years ago on Gran Canaria. I took it over when my father turned 70. So for the past 10 years, I've been running that. And we do windsurfing, stand-up paddling, surfing, bodyboarding, and also wing foiling in actually 3 different locations, because we do surfing and stand-up paddling on the south of the island and the wind action on the east island close to Pozo Izquierdo. And we also have a flatwater bay called Bahia de Formas, where we do the beginners and also the free riders. So plenty of action. I do also organize the World Cup on Gran Canaria, which is one of the longest standing World Cups in the history of windsurfing. My parents started in 1989 and run it for over 20 years. Then a group, the twins, Daida Ivaya with the club, run it for close to 10 years. And for the past 5 years after the pandemic, I took it with my team to rescue the World Cup of Gran Canaria. And we have juniors, under 13, under 15, under 18, under 21. Then, of course, we had the professionals. And budget allowing, we have slalom as well. And next year, the planned dates are from the 4th to the 12th of July.
It's pretty interesting because you told me like I'm all those guys, you know, but when I point out the entrepreneur, you get back to speed first, you know, like.
And I'm still organizing the last APP stand-up paddle wave competition World Cup in December. And of course, the Dunkerbeck Speed Challenge, which has been going for 10 years. We had our 10 years anniversary this year. We do 3 times 2 months, and anybody can take part with a GPS device. And you just upload on Dunkerbeck Speed Challenge and or on gps-speedsurfing.com. And we also have April and May. Then we have July and August. And the third period is coming up now, which is going to be October and November. We do this 6 months every year the same, so people get used to it.
Do you take part in the ranking?
Of course. I was in this last one. I did my best time on Fuerteventura. And I was not even in the first 50 because there's a lot of fast guys in France and the Netherlands, which have very good spots. And the next one, well, we're going to be in Lüderitz not allowed to record times on the channel.
Okay.
But there's a big bay called Diaz Point, which is actually very fast as well. And usually do some very good times in the open water over there.
No,
the code is that anyone can join. We had over 1,000 people on the ranking in the summer edition. And normally we are between 3,000 and 3,500 in the overall ranking of the year when the third period is done.
Yeah, that's so many. Yeah?
In all age groups, the youngest one are under 10 years old and the oldest one over 70. So we really get more and more attention every year. And we motivate a lot of people around the globe to get to meet each other because they can also do get together and chat on the platforms. And I think it's motivated a lot of people to join. We do Windsurf Fin, which is the biggest group. Then we have Windsurf Foil, which the group is growing every year. And also Wing Foil in 3 different rankings.
So basically, 3,000 people joining. When we talk about windsurf around, in Mordu, sometimes we have the feeling that the big time of windsurfing is behind us. But I'm super impressed, with thousands of people joining, 7 years old joining. How do you see that? I get this feeling that there is this kind of we are back to hype with windsurfing. Do you see this too?
Yes, of course, we have a hype again. But you also gotta say we have a lot more fun sporters in the water because you have so many disciplines. Doesn't matter if it's actually surfing, which has grown popular in many places in Europe, longboarding, stand-up paddling. Then you have stand-up paddling in the waves, you have in the flat water, just the free riders. Then you have the wing foilers, you have the kiters, you have the LT windsurfers, you have the windsurf foilers. So you have 11 disciplines.
Para-wing, dog start.
Exactly, as well, dog start, pump foil. So you have this group of fun sporters that like to go on the water, which used to be on one discipline only. If you wanted to be different and not go on a sailboat, it was windsurfing. And then on top, from the mid-80s to the mid-90s, we had a big cigarette company sponsoring the whole world tour. Doesn't matter, it was sometimes cigarettes in Japan, or if it was Philip Morris in France with Peter Stuyvesant Travel. In the Netherlands was Palman. They had Hawaii, the Loa Classic, they sponsored. They had sponsored Tarifa, they sponsored Almanar, La Torre, and also the one in Fuerteventura. So when the European community decided it's not allowed to sponsor any sport events anymore with the cover up from the cigarette tobacco companies, then we suffered because we didn't have this kind of budget anymore. So we had no more prime times in television, which we had for many years, which was a big promotion for windsurfing. We had no competitors, basically, because there was none of these other fun sports existing. But they grew out of windsurfing, basically. So I believe we have a bigger community in water sports altogether. And we are getting back with windsurfing, especially in the areas where there's a good windsurf center. And I think everybody has to wake up and say, I'm responsible to create an atmosphere around my windsurf center and town and beach to grow the sport again. You cannot just wait for it to happen. You got to do something for it. You need to have not only 50 places in Europe where people are doing it, have a community. You need to have 5,000 places in Europe where people are actually doing their own community work. And that would really help to grow windsurfing fast. Also, windsurfing is a great family sport. It unites their interest in the family, the kids with the parents, and it's a sport they can do close to the same as skiing. If you start together, you can enjoy it all lifelong. And windsurfing is also a family sport, and I think that's a key point to promote as well.
I started with windsurfing myself. I was 12 years old, living in Normandy, northwest of France, and my parents were not in windsurfing, so they would bring me to the beach only in summer when there was no wind. And in northwest of France, you have some shops, so you have no wind, some shop. It's terrible to practice. But still, I had so much fun. And one day, I moved on to Corsica in the summer with wind blowing, a windsurfing center. And it was wow, I've been doing this sport for 6 or 7 years, but I didn't know it. You want to do it with nice wind, a proper equipment, a proper center. And it's so easy, just pick up a board, you go in the water. It's only fun. Whereas when you don't do it with the proper condition, you really have to be addicted, to get the board up on the car, drive 45 minutes, see if there is some wind, there is no wind, you drive back up. When you're in the right center, I totally agree. It totally changed everything.
And this has to change now. And then we can really see a big improvement in all of the windsurfing sports and also water sports in general.
Yeah.
Example, who goes to a mountain skiing if there's not a good parking, not a good lift, not a good restaurant, and a good service for the whole family?
but only the Addict.
Very few.
Yeah.
But on a very well-prepared mountain, it's full.
Yeah.
Even though it's expensive, doesn't matter. It's still working very well. And that's a showcase for windsurfing and any water sport. If you have a good center, like Brouwersdam in south of France, HMA, you have hundreds of windsurfers, thousands of windsurfers coming through. Also in the Canary Islands, we have thousands of windsurfers that come every year. But we need to have more of these iconic places. Le Cat is an example that's working really good. Upper La Canoa here, there's some really nice windsurf centers. Dakhla is full of kite and windsurfing. So if you do a nice center with a community, you will have success.
How much does it cost? So let's say, okay, I buy your speech and I want to invest. I used to have a kitesurfing school. I started with 30,000 euro with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We had like a few kites and, being in some place in a restaurant, I mean, like 30,000 euro. If somebody is listening to us and say, yeah, I want to start something, how would you do? I mean, like,
first of all, I would wake up all the guys who already have a center to make it serious and make some promotion around the area and get people interested and do small events every weekend, not once a year. You got to do it every single weekend to get people going again. Because there's so much competition that if you're not active, you will stay behind. And I believe there's no minimum, there's no maximum. If you want to start with 3 boards and you have those busy in 5 courses a day, then these 3 boards are busy. And then you have 5 boards and then you can do 10 boards. There's no need to start with 20 equipments. You can start small and grow. It's more about the attitude and the willing of putting your soul and your time into it and motivating other people to go. Because we see it every day in our center. Doesn't matter if it's kids, if it's the women, the wife or the husband. If the right conditions on the right equipment, they all have a great time.
My wife is doing some kites. She started with wing. My daughters, they don't want to talk kite and surfing because I'm doing it. But they started windsurfing 2 years ago. And it's my wife who said, like windsurfing, maybe it's going to be my thing, I don't know how it came up. They are doing windsurfing. I mean, they enjoy it. And what I love is that we managed to share time all together in the water.
This is a very key point. And I think it's very important for every parent to understand that kids need to learn the first steps with other kids. And ideally in a center where there's many kids, because then they have one that's a little bit better than them, one that's a little bit worse than them, and they can like copy and paste and they motivate each other.
Tell us about the center you're running. How many boats do you have? How many customers in the summer do you get per day?
Well, you got to remember that Gran Canaria, you have summer all year long.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
usually
right.
we had the most customers from outside of the island when there is public holidays in any country. Sometimes we have more Scandinavians, like in the wintertime, Germans as well, Austrians and Swiss. French, we have a lot during the whole year, because in the winter they escape a bit from the cold, and in the summer they escape a bit from the heat.
We have many holidays.
A lot of holidays. So we see more and more French, and also there's more and more flights directly from France, which didn't used to be direct. You had to go through Barcelona or through Madrid, which slowed down the French market. But it has improved a lot, and we have a lot of people from the east, Letland, Poland, all these countries, because they are ready to travel now, and they have a lot of direct flights as well, and they escape in the winter when it's bad weather up there.
So how many customers do you make?
I don't count them, but we have quite a bit. But
you don't? Yeah, okay.
And it's growing. It's growing every year, and there's also more centers on Gran Canaria and on the Canary Islands altogether. And any water sport you can practice all year long. So.
And do you plan, or can you expand?
Well, with more interest and with more effort, yes, we are expanding. I mean, on Gran Canaria, I have 3 centers. One on the west coast in Cordial Perchel Beach Club. It's dedicated to stand-up paddling and surfing, and also a shop. Then we have the one in Plain Glass on the big beach where all the sand dunes are, which is mostly surfing and stand-up paddling as well. And the windsurfing part we do close to Poso. We have quite a big shop with lots of nice old memories, old boards and old pictures. And it's like a small museum. And there we do the wave sailing. And as I told you before, in the Speed Bay, Bahia de Formas, we do the beginners and also the free riders.
It's a little paradise for all
it's a paradise for any water. You're correct.
Surfing, windsurfing, kite surfing. You want waves, you have waves. You want flat water, you have flat water. I mean,
and all in a closed area.
Yeah.
It's, European Hawaii, basically.
Yeah,
I've always said that.
Definitely.
But it's even better because it doesn't rain as much.
Yeah.
So the weather is better.
Yeah.
And much closer.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's when we started with my friend, we started in Cancun, and we were super happy to go to Cancun because there were no kiteboarding school over there. Back to now, it was 20 years ago. I think it was a big mistake because we went there because nobody was doing kitesurf there, But what's important is to try to have a community and to make the spot known. And it takes times to have people coming from some place to go there because they have seen some articles in the press, they have seen some nice picture on Instagram, their friends told about them, they know that if you go there, they're going to have a nice time. It takes time, huh?
It takes a bit of time, but for beginners in Europe, it's pretty much instantaneously because it's close. You don't need to travel. So you have to take that mindset away that you have to travel far to do it. You can do it anywhere close here. Of course, you have direct flights to Gran Canaria from Paris every single day. I mean, I left at 7 o'clock and I was here at 11, and so it's pretty easy. Traveling has become really easy.
Yeah, it does. Let's get back to speed. That's where you're starting with. You mentioned Luderitz. So some guys on the podcast, they know what Luderitz is, but some of us doesn't know. Can you present the spot?
Yes, of course. It's the fastest windsurfing spot in the world. A lot of records have been broken there. They used to be broken in Tarifa, in the south of France, in Saint-Marie-de-la-Mer, on the channel they made there. 40 knots were broken there, 45 as well. But then it came to an end when the wind wasn't as efficient and not as frequent. In Luderitz, you have a big high-pressure system and the wind is more frequent, so you have more days with good conditions. And it's the only place where we have a channel that's actually built these days for speed sailing. And it's getting closer to perfect every year. It's still not perfect because it takes a lot of money to rebuild it every year. But still it is the fastest, and we managed to improve our speed times mostly every year when the wind is playing with us. And I'm going back, as I said, in November again to challenge myself.
How long do you spend there when you go there?
I will be there 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yes. I was talking with Marc Amerigo from the Zephyr project, and Marc was telling me that to break a record, the good condition to break the world record might be 1 hour per week. It's
not even.
Not
to
even
break a world record. You might not even have it once in the whole 3 weeks. But if you have a good year, it could be a few days with a few hours every day, because the record is getting higher and higher. So it needs to be even better to be able to get close or to actually beat it.
So what's important? I guess it's wind speed. You need
wind speed, wind angle, and that the channel is improved. The water quality is really the main factor because the equipment is always improving a little bit.
Okay.
So the equipment can do better speeds and lower wind speeds.
What does it mean, water quality, to break a record?
To be very flat and to
flat.
have also the edge of the channel perfectly lined, so it's straight. So you don't do more meters than necessary.
Yeah, that's true. Because when you see the picture of Luderitz, you see that it's a bit. You have some not turns, but it's not so straight. It's not an highway actually. You have some rocks and so on.
No, these are sandbags.
Sandbags.
They're sandbags to make it as straight as possible. And it's important that the upwind side is straight. The downwind side is not important. That's more to keep the water in its place. So the upwind side is the leading edge of the speed course. And the better the leading edge on the channel is, the faster you can windsurf.
What's your top record? What's your record?
3 years ago, I managed to do 103.68 and 5 times over 100. Last year, I managed to do 101 because the conditions were not as good. And hopefully this year, I'll be able to top my top speed. That's the main goal. And take it from there.
How old are you, Björn?
56.
56. And what's crazy is that you and Antoine Albo, who also received the Antoine here, you're not 20 years old guy, and you're the one leading the story for the last 20 or 30 years. How come? It's a matter of experience, a matter of mindset.
Well, always it's experience. And I did win in all disciplines in the 90s. I did 5 times. I won wave sailing, slalom, racing, and the overall in a period of 12 years. 5 times I won all the disciplines. And even in one case, I won also the speed. So 5 titles in 1 year. And no one has done that. So it's a lot of experience. Obviously now I could not compete and win in wave sailing anymore. But speed sailing takes a lot of experience, and it takes also a lot of body weight and strength. If you weigh 85 kilos and you're 25, you have no chance. You need to be close to 100 kilo with the dedication and the experience to be able to go flat out on a 40 centimeter narrow board with a 19 centimeter short fin. And you know that you have to go with 100% down this channel. And this takes years of practice. And you can put all the 25-year-old in the world against me and no one would be able to beat me.
And how do you feel when you start a run? Are you still stressed? You have still some adrenaline?
No, you get excited, especially on the stronger days.
Yeah.
Yes, on the stronger days, it's definitely exciting because you don't want to make a crash in the channel because the water is very shallow. And you could actually fall out of the channel on the bottom side, on the leeward side, and then you fall onto the beach with 90 or 95 or 100 kilometers an hour. And you have seen it happen. I have not fallen in 100Ks, but in 90, I've fallen a few times, and it really hurts. And if you fall badly, it could be the last thing you're going to do that day, or even that week.
Yeah. I remember, I don't know if you still do it, that you used to wear belts with weights.
Weight jacket, which is also an impact vest, so you protect your ribs with it, but you have a bit of weight inside. The lighter guys have more weight, and the heavier guys have less weight. I managed to do 101 last year with no extra lead.
Okay.
So I didn't even have my impact vest on. I just had my wetsuit and my harness and my helmet, and that was it. Yes.
And I'm looking at your hands, but I compare my hand to Björn hand. I like a kid hand, It's like, and your right hand is even bigger than your left one. I mean, you have to be strong.
Holding onto that boom for many years.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's super impressive. But how do you train then? You just eat a lot and
no, eat a lot is not doing the trick. You want to eat just enough, but not too much. Well, obviously, spending time on the water is very important. Then spending time tuning your equipment is very important. I'm sponsored by a mountain bike company called Stork Bikes, so I have very nice bikes. I go biking almost every day to keep my hips in place because I have operation on both hips. One 6 years ago, the left one, and I broke the 103 with the one operated and the second one not yet. And almost 2 years ago, I operated the second one, so now I have 2 titanium hips and no pain. So I should actually be able to go better this year than in the last couple of years. Plus that, the fitter you are, the better you're going to go. So,
How much time do you practice? I mean, how much physical preparation do you do per week?
I do sports every day between 2 and 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Here it's been a bit slower the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I managed to do 10,000 steps a day. That's pretty much all. There was nothing else to do here.
Yeah, because we had the Gliss and Van show
exactly.
in Paris. We had some dog start practicing, but no wind to do speed or waves, of course, in there. Excellent. If we get back to your childhood, you grew up in Gran Canaria, in the center. How was it to
My parents moved to Gran Canaria because of windsurfing, and they opened the windsurf center when they got to the islands. That was the idea.
What year was it?
That was in April 1978.
Yeah, so it was like the real beginning. There was nothing there, I guess.
No, there was a real beginning. There was only the windsurfer, the wind glider, and the Mistral with the rubber edge on. Super Wind it was called. And then the evolution started really quickly. The 80s and the 90s pretty much was the biggest step. And now the windsurfing has become so much easier. So if you used to windsurf and go on a modern board, you will feel like you're windsurfing better than you did maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago when you stopped. So get back on the water.
Yeah, definitely. And how was it to be a kid over there? I mean, you were going to school in the morning and windsurfing every afternoon?
Yes, I was in a school from 8:30 till 2 every day. And the rest of the afternoon I spent on the beach with my parents and I went windsurfing.
And you were into windsurfing still your earlier years? I mean,
it was like a game. It was fun. And obviously I was windsurfing together with other windsurf clients of my parents. earned pocket money when they drift away and windsurf the boards back. Then I started to compete in local competition with my parents. Then we did some competition in the mainland of Spain. And everything went pretty rapid. I mean, I competed in the first World Cup as a qualifier with only 14 years old in 1984. And I became fifth in the waves in Scheveningen, which was actually the big explosion for me to see that I actually could do something like that. And with 16, I was competing in the full world tour, including Japan and Hawaii and San Francisco. So it was very rapid moving forward, and it was a very interesting period.
I have some friends or people I know that are running schools and centers. And most of the time, it's not like the kids are all practicing. I have friends telling me, my kid, he could do kite surfing or windsurfing every day, but he rather do basketball or soccer. And I had the story like many, many times. Do you think your parents did something to let you enjoy it for yourself?
Well, I can more say they had fun and I had fun. So it was pretty a one-way go. With my kids in the beginning, I had to be very careful. But I always tried to bring them out when the conditions were good, and always with other kids as well, because they want to have other kids to compare with. And if it's only adults doing it, they don't want to do it because they think, it's for all guys. But if you see other kids having fun, automatically they want to try it as well. So the key point is bring your kids to the windsurf center and let them go with other kids. If you want them to kite, take them to the kite center and let them go with other kids. It doesn't matter what sport, they need kids to be happy. And of course, the soccer and the basketball is driven in the school from a very young age already. So it doesn't matter if they're 4, 5, 6, or 7, they're already getting guided into that. And then they are getting competitive. And this is groundwork of this kind of sports to get the youth interested.
When you see sports, most of the time it's adults, and when we say adults, not 20 years old, but 30, 40, 50 years old, most of the time. So for sure, it's not so attracting for kids. I think it's a super good tip to make sure that they are with some other kids. How many kids do you have?
4.
How old are they?
Alba is 22. And Liam, who's competing in the World Cup, triple world champion in juniors under 21, is competing now on the professional circuit, number 6 in the waves at the moment. Still has the competition still to go in next week, and the last one in Hawaii, where he was on the podium last year in Hokipa. So that was a big step forward for him in the pros. He won the under 21 and was third in the pros. So we'll see what happens this year.
Cool.
And Martina is 17. She's a champion in gymnastics, as my other daughter was as well, both Canadian champion and Spanish champion. And Daniel is 13 in November, so he's the youngest one. But he took part in Poso in the juniors for the first time this year. And he already told my wife, either I'm going to become a soccer champion, professional, or a windsurf. So don't think about that I'm going to university like my sisters are, because I'm going to be a professional sportsman.
Excellent. Are you proud of this attitude of having your kids into sports?
Yes, for sure. Very proud. I'm very happy. And there's nothing better than going windsurfing with my kids, and we do that quite often. Last week we were on the water, the 3 of us, in more than one occasion. And it's always a highlight.
How did you help them? Because windsurfing, you have the center, you have all the experience and so on. Gymnastics it's a difficult sport. How did you help them?
Me, I could not help very much of that at all. But one of the teachers in the school was also an ex-champion in this, and she always filters out the girls that look like they have talent, and they have 200 girls in the club close to the school as well. So they have been in that since they were very young. And if they're talented and good, they continue. And if they're not so good, they drop out eventually. But both of mine, they were very dedicated, very focused on what they were doing, but they can windsurf, of course. They can surf, they can stand-up paddle, they can mountain bike, and they can also windsurf.
Your two boys that are competing, they don't tell you, hey, Dad, please, stop competing, leave the space, it's your turn.
Yeah, but I'm only doing a speed sailing now anyway, so... And they would not have any chance anyway. But they do compete. Daniel is very happy because he is also doing a GPS speed challenge and comparing with kids in France, comparing with kids in the Netherlands, and saying, I'm getting better in comparison to them from last year. And he's into it.
We're going to put the link of the app, of course, on the website of Mordu, for people who want to take
Very
part.
easy. Dunkerbeck Speed Challenge and sign up correctly and you're on the go.
Excellent. Do you know why you're still competing after 40 years? What keeps you going?
Well, first of all, it's a discipline I can still go at the maximum level. And it keeps me motivated and interested. And I don't see me quitting. I mean, I don't have to win anymore because I did all that, but I do still need to go and do it and have fun and hopefully improve my own personal best.
I'm not 56, I'm 44 only, but I'm like, okay, I want to be able to practice my sport for the next 30 or even 40 years. And I mean,
like me?
Yeah, you're a super...
At 44, I won the slalom world title for the last time in 2011.
No, I'm 45. I did not win anything this year. That's great. If you had one trip to do, one session, you prefer big wave or flat water?
At the moment, I would say flat to go really quick. And also, I have to say, I've done all the big wave windsurfing. I do go wave sailing, but I don't need double mast height, triple mast height anymore. Before, it was the bigger the better. But actually, these days, I prefer to go logo to mast. It's actually a perfect size.
What do you like better, like 80s windsurf style or today's wing and foil?
They're both attractive. I mean, it's just a progression of the sports. I think all disciplines today are easier and more attractive than they were in the 90s. You need less equipment to do the same. And you can go in more different conditions and perform well and have a great time. So I do see the progression as very positive. And I'm very hopeful that people are going to step up and do their homework and make every center a great center like they used to be.
What do you like more, like the adrenaline from competition or being solo with perfect conditions?
It used to be 80% adrenaline from competing and winning. And these days, it's just being out there and having a great time, either alone with my kids or with other windsurfers. But of course, the challenge of being able to do 100 Ks, you have to train for that and prepare yourself well. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. So that's all different kind of motivation and adrenalines in it.
Are you more fan of hotel with a spa or van life on the parking lot?
Well, basically, depending where I go. I mean, I had done a lot of van life because I have been driving lots of vans. But I must say with the family and stuff, it's you need a big camper to be able to sleep in all. On many occasions, I have had alcoves in competitions in Europe. And it always is very convenient because you're very close to the competition area. But when I go for short trips, it's much easier just to go to a hotel.
Better feeling, your first world title or your last speed record?
Yeah, both good. I mean, the first one is always a good memory. Then repeating it a few times is always a very good confirmation that you can do it. And then being able to do this kind of sport at a high level at my age is also a great satisfaction. And it just shows how many different aspects windsurfing has. It has the free riding, it has the wave sailing, then it has the wave sailing in big waves. They have the big jumps, wind from the left, wind from the right, offshore, side shore. So there's a lot of options just in wave sailing. And then you have the slalom competition, which is really fast against the others. You have the course racing and long distance, which are longer disciplines on different kind of equipment. You have the foils. So there's so many windsurfing disciplines in the windsurfing that it never can get boring.
With those sports, you can go to the very same place every day of the year, and the conditions are never the same. I mean,
it's always different. There's always a new challenge.
New challenge, always a surprise. And I think what also, I don't know you, but me, what keeps you going is that you're looking for those perfect conditions, those amazing days where, like everything is easy, the waves are amazing and you're in the zone and that's perfect. And I think that's something that keeps you motivated, to go in the water all the time.
Absolutely. Keeps you drive going, keeps you alive. And ocean is not always perfect, but I think it's always important, even if it's not perfect, go in the water, spend an hour or two out there, and you come back and you feel like you're born again. And then in the epic good conditions, when you have this magic day, you will just be prepared for it.
That's what I keep on explaining friends going in the water and telling, oh, it's hard today, it's too windy, or the water is too cold, and so on. And you're like, yeah, but if you want to enjoy the perfect conditions, that's now that it's starting. I mean, otherwise, when the conditions are good, I mean, you won't enjoy it anyway. There's going to be 100 persons in the water, so you're going to have some other difficulties. How do you balance like being entrepreneur? You know, you have the center in Gran Canaria. You have to move 4 weeks in Liederitz. I mean, you have many activities. You are
lots like this. I even have a windsurf partner center with Philippe Bru and a center on Bonaire, the Sorbo Beach Resort. And if you go there once, you will go every year.
I've never been to Bonaire or Curaçao. The people tell me it's cool, huh?
Yeah, Bonaire especially. Just Google Dunkerbeck Pro Center Bonaire, and you will go, wow, I want to go there.
Excellent. But how do you? I mean, how are you like super organized? Do you work a lot? How do you do to do all this? You know.
Well, I have a few people that work with me, you know, and try to dedicate the different aspects of the different jobs to different people. And when they do the good, everything works fine. And when they do not so good, then I have to like repair all the faults. So it looks easy, but it's not as easy as it is.
Yeah. Are you somebody who's really stressed? You know, like it's difficult. Like
no, I don't get stressed.
You don't get stressed?
No, I get a little bit disappointed at times when it doesn't work the way it should, but I don't get stressed.
Oh, okay. I don't want to see you disappointed. I mean, it has to be something. What one magical memory you wanted to put in a box? Something that is super precious for you. You know, a moment you spend in the water. What would be this moment?
I think that the important thing is to understand that windsurfing and water sports in general have this magic moment coming over and over and over again, depending on where you are in the world. And this is why when you're a windsurfer, you always will be a windsurfer, because you're always looking for these magic moments, as you say yourself. And it's not like a tennis court. There's always going to be the same, you know. You have the same lighting. You just have a different opponent. You feel better, you feel worse. And windsurfing is nature, so you have to adapt to whatever's there. It's always different, and that is one of the drives that keeps me going, and most other passionate windsurfers as well. And plus, windsurfing and water sports keep you young.
It does. Can you tell us about your worst wipeout or scariest moments?
I had many big wipeouts where my day was over. I crunched my sternum where I could hardly not move back and forward for a week. And many scratches and many tendons have been stretched over the years. But the worst two wear-out injuries have been my hips from all the impact. And that's why I had to replace them one by one, because basically just destroyed from all the impact. And crashes happen all the time. I try to do as few as possible, but...
Is it more dangerous to be in the canal in Liederitz or being in like 2 meters or 3 meters waves in Gran Canaria?
Oh, it's way more dangerous on the channel.
The channel?
Yes.
Yeah,
because you're going the limit, and in 2-3 meter waves, it's not dangerous, it's just fun.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8 meters, of course, it can be more dangerous. But if you go 90, 95, 100 k's an hour, and you wipe out, this is normally the end of your day.
But you already wiped out.
Yes, and if you're lucky, you can go again. But if you're a little bit unlucky, then you'll be resting the rest of the day, and sometimes it's over for the entire week.
Do you practice visualization before you go in the water? It's something that you do?
No, that's just experience.
Just experience,
yes.
Yeah.
And of course, you have also lighter days during the period. So you go as many times when it's lighter so that you're prepared for the extreme days. And the extreme days, not every run is good because the wind angle makes it more choppy or less choppy. So you got to be actually quite lucky to get a very good run when it's very windy. It's much easier to reach 90 Ks 10 times in a row than to reach 100 once in a week.
Yeah. A part of windsurfing and biking, what do you like? What do you like to do, or what would you like to explore?
Well, I do my biking is it's fun and it's nature oriented. But it's basically to stay fit for windsurfing.
Yeah. So it's all about windsurfing. I don't know, when you're at home, you're like watching windsurfing videos, or do you cook? Do you read? What's important for you?
I spend time with my family, and I'm pretty active. And also with all the stuff that I got going, there's a lot of time on the phone and also on the laptop. But I do manage to get my hours of action every day.
Going back to water sports, how do you see things evolving? It's just so crazy what happened the last 20 years. So we had windsurfing, we mentioned it, then we had kite surfing, then stand-up paddling. And it seems that today there's like things coming up almost every year. The last years we had para-rowing, we have a lot about foil assist, which is something that is pretty new, pretty interesting. Yeah. You see that the towing is getting, when we were talking about towing before, it was like, only for professional. And I hear a lot about towing today. It's going, what do you see for the future?
No one is stopping the evolution. There's going to be people trying to create new stuff to make it interesting for the area. And people will try to make it interesting for the area and make a business out of it as well. And I come back to the same point. I mean, if you have a great center, you could have all these disciplines there and you could be part of this. And if you live in an area where windsurfing is great, you go windsurfing. You live in an area where surfing is better, you go surfing more frequently. If you go in an area like around here, probably stand-up paddling would be a better option. So it all depends a little bit where you are and what you want to do.
Yeah, that's true. What your point is that it's only the beginning. I mean, like if we manage to build up the infrastructure with all the tools, the toys that we have now, any place can be a water sports place.
Exactly. Any place could be unique for every single discipline.
Maybe one last question for you, Björn. Is there somebody that especially inspires you? Someone you would like to hear on Mordu, for example?
To hear on Mordu? Well, I believe that you can get people that inspired me over the years. Robbie Nash, Anders Springal, Antoine Boye, here you had on already. And any of the top guys like Kai Lenny that are also driven by all the fun sports would be great personalities to have a chat with.
We're almost there, Björn. We are done. Thanks a lot for sharing your time, your experience. I mean, it was a great interview. Many thanks for this. Do you have a final message if we want to wrap it up?
Well, you've been talking a lot about our great sports. And what I really want to pass on is I would like to wake up all the windsurfers and water sports people that are sitting in big companies to support us. Don't just look at us or point at us and say they should be doing this, should be doing that. What we really need is more support, more money to be able to create great events like this one. And also the World Cup circuit and the national circuits. All we need is money because you got the greatest water sports in the world. Doesn't matter if it's windsurfing, if it's kite surfing, if it's wing foiling, if it's stand-up paddling or surfing. We just need to have as much money as possible to be able to create great events to motivate more people. And in that goal, all the windsurf centers, all the water sports centers, take your job serious, motivate people, make a great job in your area, and we will have a tremendous growth of all our water sports because it's fun. And it doesn't matter if you're young or old. It's family sport. It's an action sport, and it really keeps you young. My father is 82 years old, and he still goes windsurfing and saying, hey, I'm going to go as long as I can because windsurfing keeps me young.
Excellent. I love your vision. I mean, it was great to share this. It's the first time that I hear things like this, in Mordu, and we had many people. And I love what you said about water sports and windsurfing being a family sport. And I totally agree, and I can share my personal experience about it. Many thanks, Björn. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode. We keep you posted. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.